So, I'm going to tell you two of the most important things to improve your confidence, but it's a confidence hack that you don't really want to hear. So, basically, I've always struggled with confidence. I've always struggled with self image, self esteem. And it was to the point where I was in school and I was known for that guy who never spoke. People looked at me and they knew my confidence was low. So, I was known as the guy who was like, oh, yeah, he doesn't talk, like he doesn't speak. So this was always a problem for me. I would struggle to make friends. I dealt with self-loneliness. And because of this, I started doing lots of experimentation. Realized that this was a problem and I started doing lots of hours of research on how to improve my confidence because I knew that I needed a social life. I didn't want to experience this anxiety. I wanted to make friends. I didn't want to live with this fear inside of me. And it wasn't until I found like these two principles, right, from a public speaking coach called Vin Jiang, right? And this has honestly transformed my confidence so much. It has honestly helped me to improve my social skills. I can go up to people confidently and talk to them. I can basically create a group of friends. I have a social life now. And that's what I'm gonna get into this video. These two things, this concept of, actually gaining real confidence. So this idea, right, I got from a public speaking coach called Vin Jiang, right? And this guy, he's basically a public speaking coach. He has like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, right? He helps lots of people. And basically this tip he gave to someone who was trying to improve their confidence when public speaking, right? And basically this guy, he was basically asking, how can I become confident? And Vin Jiang basically said, the reason why people are shy is because they've practiced being shy. And then he goes on to say that being shy, being confident, these are just series of behaviors. So for example, right, let's say you're a shy guy like I was, right? If you're shy, the reason why you're shy is because you practice being shy. You are practicing being shy every single day. So what does that look like? Right now, you're practicing being shy. There's a fly in here, sorry, it's so stupid. I hate bugs so much. But basically, he was basically saying you're practicing being shy because you are practicing not talking to people, you're practicing not going out, you're practicing not choosing to change your outcome. And you're practicing this every single day and you're developing this behavior of that's what's normal. And since this is what you're doing and practicing, you're not improving your confidence. And so you might be thinking, okay, how can I improve my confidence in? And this is what Vin Jiang says. So he basically says, since you're practicing being good at shy, you want to practice being confident. And what does confident look like? And he basically gives these two things, right? They're most important things. Initiating conversations first, and two, actually taking the time to take the risk to go out to social events and try new things. And I'm gonna explain why this is super important, right? Because it's like this. If you are choosing to stay inside all day, but yet you're confused and you want confidence, you want this social life, you're not going to get it because you're practicing staying inside. The function, the social life, the friends, they're not going to come to you. You have to go out and do that yourself. You have to. You cannot complain to yourself. And this should make you kind of angry, right? It doesn't make any sense. If you're not practicing initiating conversations first. Like, for example, if you're in an awkward conversation, ask them another question. Get out of your comfort zone and do that. Because literally, if you keep doing this, and this has helped me, by the way, if you keep doing this, let's say you're in a conversation, you literally go up to them first and ask them. You are training yourself, you're practicing to go up even more, to ask them, make the first step. Is it going to be scary? Yeah. But over time, what you're going to do, since you've practiced it once, you're going to do it again, which isn't as bad. Then the third time, it's like, oh, okay, it's really not as bad. Fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, you get better and better each time. And because you're doing that each time, it gets a lot easier. Same thing, bro. This bug. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna keep this in there because this is important. This is gonna be a raw video. But literally, what you want to do is that literally you want to go out and experience new things. If someone invites you to an event, go. Are you going to experience anxiety? Is it going to be scary? Yes, 100%. 100%. But once you say yes and once you start getting out of your comfort zone, getting used to be uncomfortable, It's gonna get easier and easier and easier, and then you're practicing the behavior to become more confident. In my experience, right? I remember when I started in conversations, I couldn't start a conversation first. I couldn't go up to someone and shake their hand and say, "Hey, excuse me, what's your name?" But when I was like 14 years old, I realized that, dude, I have to start practicing, right? So the first time I started like actually going up and saying, "Hey, excuse me, what's your name?" at like school or like a social event, right? It was very scary. But it got to the point where I just kept practicing and practicing it over and over again to the point where it was just so easy. It was like no problem. And literally, like, I go to like these social events in school, right? Like, I'm part of like a couple clubs in my school. And literally, I actually like meeting new people. Like, I remember I was meeting this guy and I was just like, "Hey, what's up, bro? Like, I know this is super random. I know like people don't usually talk like this, but I just like meeting a bunch of people. Like, what's your name? What's your life story?" So literally, you need to practice initiating conversations first and saying yes and doing more things, going to social events. This is what you need to do in order to start getting more confident. You need to practice the behaviors. And once you practice them, you'll get better and better at it each time. And now, since you've done it, your new behavior is normalized by going new things and initiating conversations first. So hopefully those things help you. You need to practice being shy. You need to practice being confident because you're practicing the behaviors of being shy. So like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.